Alright. Internet challenges. Where is my border? Where do I have to go that I can be far enough away to give a different view, but still have the capability of doing a live stream? And then a little bit of shade so that I can actually see a little bit. So, here we are. I think that this is good. I'm kind of doing the boat dock. Is what my game plan was a little bit of boat dock. Adam and I are headed off to, I think it's called Shark Rally or Alley or something like that. We're going to go snorkeling out at one of the reefs with some reef shark and all the little fish in about an hour from now. So if we don't come back, you guys know where we fell off the grid, somewhere in Belize with sharks. No, they're just little reef sharks, right? They're just little ones. Yeah, no, not so much. At least not from the pictures that I saw. I watched a video on it too, and it looked really, really cool. But so we are gonna go have a moment out at the reef, swimming with sharks. Not necessarily the shark diving that I have as a dream. I want to get in one of those great big cages and go down with some of the great whites. I know that sounds maybe potentially crazy, but that's what I want to do. As I do want to do that before this lifetime is over. I'd like to swim with some big sharks. This is just going to be like a little version of it, of just swimming with reef sharks and stuff, which I've never done. So it's an experience, much like yesterday was an experience, was definitely a moment Addison got to test drive, and I've got pictures and video to share that will be coming out later. I just haven't had the time to get all that stuff up, but I've got a whole bunch of pictures of her debut golf cart driving experience. So I'm just going to throw her underneath the bus right now and say, like, okay, she has not ever driven a golf cart, and she loves speed bumps. Let's just say that the girl absolutely loves speed bumps. Yes. Do not get into a golf cart. If you're ever out with Addison, don't get into a golf cart with her with a full bladder. That's a bad idea. A very, very bad idea. That was definitely a moment in time shared, which brings us to our topic of the day, which is snapshot moments in relationship. And we have these snapshot moments is a word that a past lover of mine used a couple times. I would catch him just looking at me with this complete look of love, and just looking at me, and every time I said, like, what, I would start to feel a little insecure from him looking at me the way he was, like almost like he was just penetrating me straight through to the soul level, and it would just be over some little mundane, simple little thing, in my opinion. And he would just look at me, and he would just smile and kind of shake his head and get this look in his eyes and be like, it's just a snapshot moment. I'm just taking a snapshot. I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah, like this is one of those moments that I don't ever want to forget. And it was just so full of love and connection. And I think that we have, in all relationship, we have these moments that are like that. And some of them are not great. Some of them are not so full of love. Others are like that, those moments right there where they're just so full of love and connection, and they expand us from a deep soul level. And that's what relationship is supposed to do. Relationship is supposed to expand us. Relationship is in place in our world, in our human experience, for us to open and experience emotional. Like, we are creatures that depend on emotion. We might deny our emotions a lot, but we depend on our emotions. And if you think about it, we all are doing the things that we're doing in order to have an experience, an emotional experience, but we shut down the emotion left and right? We don't feel like it's necessarily safe to have some of the emotions that we do. And relationship is there just for that emotional connection, that emotional experience, that awakening of the soul, of the heart, of life. Like, that's how we experience life, is through relationship. And we have relationship with everything. So we have relationship with our friends, with our family, with our lovers, with, with ourselves, with God, with, our health, with our money. We have work relationship, like how we feel about the things that we do, those passions in life, those little things that, I might have a relationship with a mosquito right now. We have a relationship with all this different stuff. And we really don't give it the credit due, the respect due, because a lot of the time we're not present to these little snapshot moments. They kind of wash over us, and if we're not anticipating and really being present in our relationships, and that's what it comes down to, presence in life, presence in relationship, then we miss these little moments. And that, to me, in my opinion at least, is one of the saddest things, because last night Addison and I, it's like every girls trip that we do, we have one night where we stay up all too late. Typically it's the night right before we're supposed to get up really early, and even though we're not supposed to be up really early today, we probably did not get enough sleep, just saying. And we were up until, I think it was like 2 a.m. last night, and we were talking, and the big piece, I was just telling her, like, Kendal love story sagas of time gone by. It was like a lifetime movie going on of storytelling. All we were missing was like the fire and everything. I should have been a storyteller. Like that could have been like something that I could have done. I could see myself. But I was telling her this like tale of my past, of an old lover, and the marriage sagas and all this different stuff going on. And I was telling her about like my first love, and I'm painting this whole picture, and we were talking about little moments, these little snapshot moments of like, when in the meeting of somebody, and through that relationship, how little moments were just so significant. Like with my first major love, right? I was telling her about, it was just like, like I can still see him. I was young and I was insecure, and I can still see his glistening, sweaty back up on this awning, because my mom had a clothing store, and up on this awning, and he had taken his shirt off to hang up this humongous rectangular metal sign for my mom. And I stood across the street watching him, and I mean, like, I just remember that moment and having this thought of like, like this was my first like experience with a guy, except it wasn't really an experience, like I was daydreaming about it potentially being an experience, but I didn't think that he would give me the time of day. And then, one thing led to another, and a few months went by and all of that good stuff. I'm not going to tell you guys the whole story. That's another moment. But we were just talking about these like significant little moments, and how two people can go through the same experience, the same events in time, and have these different snapshot moments that are significant to them, that mean something to them. And a lot of the times, like when I'm working with clients and stuff, I'll hear about, a client will come to me and say, why does this not mean, why does she not think that this is important? Why do they not remember this? Why do they not get this? Why is this like, how can this just not be part of their mentality, their feelings, captivate them the way this really is significant to me? And it is because that no two people, no matter what is going on, we do not come to the table with the same emotional, mental, physical histories or states of being. So we all process things differently. What is valuable to one is not going to be valuable to another. What is traumatic to one is not going to be traumatic to another. What really touches and opens the heart of one will not touch and open the heart of another. Even when you have similar interests and beliefs and all this different stuff, it's still not going to be equal, and sometimes not even the same at all. So something can really mean the world to one person and not mean dilly squat to another. And that's a tough place to be, because we want to be felt, we want to be seen, we want to have that connection, that share. We want somebody that is on the same page as us and connected at that level where we're like really, really together. And yeah, there are moments, like I was sharing with Addison, I was like, there's moments with the particular lover who were referred to these like snapshot moments. There's moments that, I was thinking about, I was like, he's probably one of the people that I would say that we actually had shared snapshot moments in time with, that I could say that if you asked him today, what are some of the moments that you remember with her that are like the significant little moments, and he would probably come up with some of the exact same ones in a similar energy, feeling, vibe as what I would share it with. But that doesn't happen very much, and we were deeply, deeply connected, and I would say that we probably still would not have a lot of moments that meant the same to us, and that, like I would come up with stuff that he just probably wouldn't even remember, and vice versa. But these snapshot moments, they're so valuable. They're so valuable because as we go through time, these snapshot moments also are triggers to us. They trigger different things. I was sharing with over on our talk last night, I was like, Phil Collins in Risky Business, there's the scene in Risky Business where Phil Collins' song is playing, I Can Feel It in the Air Tonight, and it's like this really, really hot moment, like it is a sexual turn on. They're getting down and nasty on the train, Tom Cruise and whoever she was, and it was one of those that I remember, like because of that movie, I don't really even remember a whole lot of that movie, but that song played. And so now, even if that song plays in the car and I'm not even in a state of like sexual turn on or anything like that, and that song, by the way, is actually not a very turn on song. I mean, it's like a song, his heartbreak song, as I was saying last night. I'm like, it's truly Phil Collins' heartbreak song. Like if you really pay attention to the lyrics, you're gonna go, oh man, like this guy is like really torn apart here. But it's because of that particular movie, it triggers sexual turn on for me. And so here's his heartbreak song, triggers his pain, but triggers my turn on. So I hear that, and no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, when that Phil Collins song comes on, I'm like, okay, there's this like little piece of me that's like, woo, right? And that's what happens, is that we have these little snapshot moments in time that when something edges up around them, that something makes us think about it. We get a whiff of a perfume, a taste of food. We have a similar event happen. We go to a destination that we've been to before, and we visit the same location that we visited before with somebody else or at another time frame. And whether it is a good or a bad, we have these like little snapshot moments that we don't even realize that we take, but we take them and they cause these triggers in our life. And sometimes they trigger us really good, very pleasurable, and sometimes they trigger us not so pleasurable. Sometimes a good memory will trigger a moment of pain because of different events that have happened. So it's really just kind of my meaning behind this conscious coffee is to become more present in your relating, no matter what it is, to slow the fuck down and become more present in your relating, because it is so, hey Renee and Addison, I'm like, I can barely see. I'm like, to me, my screen is almost black right here, and see like the sunshine behind me, but when we become really present in our relationships and we start to just appreciate those little moments, no matter how they are, I think that we expand our worlds in that. We definitely expand our understanding, our compassion, our heart, energetic, emotional connections to the people in our lives. And that's where we build that depth. That's where we gain intimacy. That's where we have true connection that kind of comes in. Instead of just running, I see so many people running these relationships on such surface levels and not having depth in conversation, depth in moment, or true connection. And then they wonder why they're not happy in relationship, why they're not ever being met, why they're not ever being seen. And it is because they're not allowing themselves to be present and to have these little moments and to even like look for them. I've had times where I'm just like, wow, this is a moment, like this is a life changing, there's major transformation happening right now, and it's just like a knowing. But then there's other ones where I just go, like that is just like there's just like some really beautiful little spots, and you can just kind of remember back and kind of go, yeah, that's just like great, that's awesome. And you can pull, you know, in coaching, I get people a lot too. I don't use the past a lot in coaching because coaching is all about forward moving. It's not about, you know, really dredging up the past and re-anchoring it. But sometimes in coaching, when somebody's going through struggles and lack of worth and a lot of shame and pain and stuff, sometimes you have to go back and you have to go, when was a time that you felt so full of love? When was a time that you felt so strong in your purpose? When was a time, you know, like that kind of stuff. And we have these moments, but if we're not present to them, if we don't slow down, if we don't consciously take the time to go, wow, this is a moment, kind of like that lover, you know, like those moments when I would be like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm pausing right now. And I'm like, I'm having a snapshot moment. Like, I want to remember this. It was a conscious effort on his part to really take in that moment. And that's what I encourage you to do, is to have those conscious snapshot moments in whatever relationship it might be, to remain present to those and go, this is a moment. This truly is. This is a moment that I feel myself expanding, that I feel myself connected at a deep level, that I feel myself, you know, loving, that I feel myself even fearing, even, you know, like, but what am I gaining from this moment? At all points, just go, well, look at what I am gaining. Feel the expansion. Feel that, because even in the fear, in the shaking of the fear, when you push through those depths of fear and insecurity and doubt, don't you feel like you just climbed Mount Everest? Like you're on top of the world in those moments? And that's how you can take some of those edgy spaces and turn them into blissful states of being. But you've got to remain conscious to that. So, before I head out here on this boat to have a moment with some sharks, I was joking about wrestling sharks last night. Not really gonna do it. But before I head out, I do encourage you today and over the next few days, to slow down in relationship, to pause with the people that you are interacting with, that you are enjoying, and to see, just like really let yourself bask in the little moments, because your life is made up of tons of little moments, ever changing, ever moving, always going forward, never going backward. And that's so important to remember, is that you're always going forward. You're never going backward, and you're always moving moment by moment by moment into a deeper, more honest version of yourself. But in order to have that, you have to be willing to experience the now and be willing to experience those little moments. So get present, slow yourself down, take a moment for yourself today, breathe in the day. Feel your body, feel your life, look around and count your blessings, because no matter what is going on, you really do have a lot of blessings. So if I've said anything in this conscious coffee that has touched you, made you go, aha, or anything like that, here goes my little spiel, right? My little spiel. Go and please, please, please hit the share button and help me get conscious coffee messages out. I'm appreciative to all of you who view this in present or catch it on the replay. If you're catching me on the replay, let me know that you've caught this on the replay in the comments section. And as always, stop existing, start living. I'm loving you from Belize this week. Fly from Belize. I'm going to give you a quick little roundabout tour here of just where I'm at again, like I did yesterday morning. And look for pictures to be coming out. I'll put together a little portfolio of pictures for everybody to see. So you can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com. Here's where I'm at. That's where we're getting on a boat over there. We'll swim with sharks in just a moment. It's just a lovely, lovely day here. If you haven't been to Belize, I encourage you to go to Belize. If you want a really cool, very quaint little place, Portofino is definitely, I would say, one of the most relaxed resorts that I've ever stayed at. Beautiful customer service, beautiful location, really cool little kind of like boutique type style here, our bungalow over there. So yeah, and just really, really cool. We drove a golf cart around yesterday around town. That's like, I think the main mode of transportation around here is golf cart. So there you guys go. And I will catch you tomorrow live from this beautiful destination in Belize. Stop existing, start living.